camera's right here, but I'm gonna be looking right here so it don't like feel weird. And when I tell you I was spending like a good 3-4 minutes trying to fix my cap so it doesn't look like weird because my hair is uneven because I have freeforms. Anyway, nevertheless, that is irrelevant. We were talking today. We're gonna spit some bars and we start. No, I was gonna do a freestyle, nothing too extravagant, and then I was gonna go off of what's coming up in the up and coming weeks and what can happen in my future if everything goes off the rails. So I'm gonna give a fair warning right now, based off my disposition now. I think I used that wrong, but anyway, I know there will be a point in time in my life where a negative, a innately, well, I wouldn't say innately, but an inherently negative external benefactor of my life will contribute something very detrimental to me, where I will speak purely from my emotion to the internet or to somebody else due to the fact that I was hurt or my pride or ego was at face value. So what did all that mumbo jumbo, if you didn't get that, basically I'm saying there will probably be a point in time where my feelings get hurt or my ego gets crushed or I feel disrespected in a point in time where I have enough emotional grandeur to come on this camera, maybe if I'm in my early 20s, so that's pretty far, but still, in my early 20s or my late teens, I'm in my late teens right now, early 20s or early mid 20s, where I would have I wouldn't even call it beef, but a one-sided beef due to the fact that I was done wrong or accused of something, or my stature and the way I'm perceived has been misguided or diminished in some type of way. Like my legacy has been tarnished due to the fact of my irresponsibility or not knowing who are my friends at this point in time and who are my friends in the future. As my character will be challenged, and I already know I sense it due to the fact that I was a malicious and evil person in my past, so I'm trying to change now. So I believe in karma in some type of way. Nobody gets a death that is deserving sometimes, all right? There's some good people who die and they don't deserve it. But I know I can acknowledge that there will be one point in time where I have to reap what I sow from my past. Am I ready for it? Fuck no. But I'm gonna say this now. Before I have millions and millions of listeners on music or this or entertainment, or if I go back to modeling or if I go back to sports, anyway, I know there will be somebody who was very hasty to be like, oh, he has money now, I can ruin his reputation. To devalue my reputation, I already know, because of the mistakes I have made for the people I have trusted and the people I have been in contact with. What is that law called when you it's not malpractice, that's dumb. When you tarnish somebody's name. When you tarnish somebody's name. You misrepresent them, right? You're trying to say they just, it's in the law, I forgot. Reputation, misinterpret, tarnish, brandish character. I'll find it later, but there's a word for that, you know? I want to contribute to this world in a positive way, not just so I can be perceived as somebody that has good values, because you can be a good person but not have the great values of a great person. Now, if you want to be perceived as a good person and you only do good tendencies or have goals to do good based off of what people see, you're not really good. Because there's a point where not everybody can be good. It's not black and white, right? Not everybody can be good. Not everybody can be bad. Be like, oh, I'm a nice person. No, the fuck you're not. Excuse my language, but I'm not a nice person. I'm not a mean person. I'm a sarcastic person. I'm a so-called dickheadish person. But I am nice to individuals I don't know. Now, if I know you, I'm going to be a dickhead. I'm going to be sarcastic. But if I don't know you, I'm going to give you the point of view of others, which basically means I'm going to being nice, no such thing. Giving somebody human decency, treating them with respect, that is a different thing. Innately, we all should be treated the same, right? In a fairy tale world, if the world wasn't so messed up how it was, innately, we will all be treated the same. Which, it gets so complicated to the point where if you look different, you sound different, you're from somewhere else, you will be mistreated due to the fact that they know not what they do. That's in some religion, pretty sure. They know not what they do, and also, what is not known is also feared. So they try to nick and pry at you. I'd be like, you look funny. I don't like how you look. Look at you adding that stuff to you. They point it out, call it jokes. But we all know it's an insecurity from the inside of somebody else because they wish they looked like you or they wish they could do what you do. And the whole time, they don't know it took many trials and errors. This wasn't supposed to be an inspirable video. It wasn't, but I'm rambling. But I'm still trying to find it when you misrepresent somebody or you talk bad about them. Destroy their character. Misres. People sue, like actors sue about it. It's right there. Defamation of character. I found it. Oh my god, it slipped my mind. It was right there. It was right there. I found it. Okay. But anyway, now we're gonna transition into the I guess the freestyle. I was thinking about it the whole time. What's the title of it? I don't know. But I know it started off like this. Okay, I'm joking. What was it though? I forgot the cadence, so the cadence will be different if I put it on the laptop, but it'll be like it's like this. Bus boy. I guess it's more of a poetry or anything, I guess. Bus boy. He was a bus boy. Doing things that he never knew could make what it seems. Making noises. He was folded off the things that he corroded, so he stuck to the things that always was mischosen. Going off things what it seems. I don't know, but I planned a scheme, so he went to the things that he knew. The things that he knew was the streets. The streets never catch the heat, but he was clutching the heat. Once again, I'm gonna repeat for a fender that I can make sense. I can mumble off his beat, but I can tell you what really makes sense. He was a busboy, washing dishes, doing business. He couldn't live in. He was left-handed. Irrelevant to the story, but that left hand will be next to glory. Fuck what you mean, Katori. I can do with the Corey. Can you floor it? Busting out things at the door. Half of it was good. It was in there, but I forgot it because it was mostly a freestyle. Because if you explain the story and then you rap about it, it don't really hit the same, right? So it can go to a conclusion of what I was saying. Be like, he's a busboy making noises. He was talking about hoes and glory, but the things that he can see, but his goals wasn't gonna floor it. Fluidity to the things that he's spitting out the release. Cause like sometimes when you rap, you don't need to rhyme everything. Cause then you gonna sound like some Dr. Seuss ass motherfucker. The more technical you are with your raps or your lyrics, the more boring it gets. That's why everything tends to switch. You know what I'm saying? That's a bar right there. You didn't even know that, but I'm for real. Because if you're just like, there's a lot of things that can sound good, but also can do too much. You want new things. That's why we're so oversaturated with so many things. That's why music is not what it used to be. Because everything's oversaturated and you gotta look harder to find good music. Harder than what you used to. Back in the peak I think the peak really started like 2014 all the way to 2018. That's where it really stopped at for real. That was the peak of music because you had bangers and bangers left and right in almost every genre, especially rap. But back to the bus boy, back to his story, how he was trying. Ooh, let me know. I can be like, back to the story of the bus boy trying to clear glory, talking about hoes and money and cars, but he could never get the story right. But he knew when he took that good night, he was trying to catch flight, but he knew I'd never fight. I was busting out things with right to trying to make it right, mumbling off the things he might. He stole a couple bikes, but he never knew was right. Going off the tight, so he took a little bit might the more, walking down the road, trying to get you on. He went to the neighborhood. Damn, what was it? He went out of the neighborhood, he went out his neighborhood, tell me what's good, stumbling words, flexing cars he never had, scrolling through phones, going through TikTok, telling about bitches he had, telling the bitches he sad, glad. I can, it was like, I forgot it was right there. It was like, I can never confit. I don't know, I stumble with my words. I used to have a bad stutter, so I had like a bad speech impediment, plus the gap in my lisp. So I always was try to train how to talk and how to like pronounce my words and pronunciation and all that. But I wasn't trying to use like extravagant words every time I talk, because you can talk to people and explain what you want in the most simplistic way without using like big ass words that seem like you're smart. Nigga, that just comes off condescending. You come off as a dickhead. You know how I know that? Cause my father does it. No shade though, no shade. But I don't know what I was gonna call it though. Before, so he was knocking on the door, 40 for 4. He'll come in the coat. He never the trunk, he put it in the code. He unlocked the door. He looking for more, came with the toe. This not how the story go, but you can tell that from the code. And I flipped the speed of it, and then it was like, once he was in the house, he was looking for clout. He saw a little mouse scurrying through the kitchen. Fuck what you mean, he took a little mention. But he had premonition, then he started contradicting about the feelings he could never feed. Too late, the owner already seen. He got that gun, he shot 2 times, but what was it? He shot 2 times, he never got hit. Ain't that about a bitch, so he ran with the switch. He never shot shit, so he came about the ditch. I can't even flick, but he got what to get. He forgot what to get. So basically, it was supposed to be a story about a busboy, right? He always had this mentality of, what 50 Cent used to say? Get rich or die trying. He was a busboy washing dishes. Always had goals, talking about hoes, talking about clothes, shit like that, right? And you know how the story goes. He started robbing shit. So, boom, he was contacting, he was scrolling, talking about girls and shit. He was on thing. So, with that, you really think, oh, so this is just a generic, contradictory, stereotypical black boy that's a busboy washing dishes. But you got to think, if he has a job, right? He obviously was thinking about something more. But the contradiction was, it wasn't the phone that was feeding him the toxin. It was already in his head. He had to prove the perception of somebody else that he could be better. So he thought robbing that house, right? Robbing that house with that little mouse that was scurrying through the kitchen. He was trying to think. He was trying to think shit. He was trying to take shit. But he had a premonition, things he was wishing, right? He had all that, right? And once he got it, and the owner came and he shot him, he missed, all that, yeah. He got grazed, he got little stitches, and he fell in the ditch, and all that Dr. Seuss shit I was talking about, right? Even with the premonition, the busboy never truly understood why he did what he did, right? So even when you internalize that external factors outside your life really can fuck you up on some mental levels. Okay, I'm gonna list off some artists or rappers that don't really hit how they used to. Not maybe because of their age or what they do or they haven't evolved, right? J. Cole and matter of fact, I love J. Cole. I ain't gonna lie, but when you think of J. Cole, there's different ways how people perceive J. Cole. People see J. Cole as a lyricist or a humble guy. Some people see him as a melodic. Oh, he has nothing but a bunch of classics. And then some people be like, but he a wanna be smart, intellectual nigga that fell off. Those are what people see him. And then when you mention Drake, so I don't know how to get into that one. He got bangers. He kind of weird. He doesn't grow. And then you got Kendrick. Just the big three I'm making. A lyricist. Hella bangers. Dissed Drake and got famous off that. It's a lot of areas when it comes to a whole stubble of that. And with that, throw that out of there. I don't want to be connected with that. I don't want to be connected to SoundCloud either. And I don't want to be seen as a YouTube rapper. Being a YouTube, like, if you put YouTube in front of anything, be like, oh, he's a YouTube athlete, a YouTube basketball, a YouTube rapper, a YouTube physicist. If you put YouTube in front of anything that is normal, you lose like 10 creditation points. You'd be like, oh, he's a YouTube boxer. You're not gonna take that guy serious. Oh, he's a YouTube rapper. You're not gonna take that serious. I swear, if you put YouTube, I feel like it watered down the craft that you have. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, but it just comes off like that. I'm like, damn, you know. But Busboy, I had so many different versions of that freestyle, but I kept forgetting it because I never put on the camera. So that's why I feel like ever since like if I get an idea, I gotta start putting it. I write it down, but it don't really hit the same. I gotta start picking up the camera or the phone and start recording and then start spewing it out, even if I mess up on the words. That's why I feel like I gotta start doing. I feel like that'd be way better. Oh, you already know I'm in the South. I've been telling you that. I'm around Georgia and Atlanta. I'm not in Atlanta, but I'm around Georgia and shit like that. I'm around North Carolina, just lower. If you know what you know. I just never wanted to say what I was at, cause I feel like I don't know. Matter of fact, yeah, scratch it. It don't matter. But I got an anthem. I feel like if I can find the correct beat, and I can find somebody cause I'll probably I can make a beat, but my mixing and my audio, I don't have a microphone, so I feel like I can make an anthem for this state that might hold off for like I give it this shit might could last a good 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? And then on the low end, it can last a couple months. Long as it doesn't touch TikTok, cause that's I don't know. Everything's just what I'm basically seeing. I feel like there's different reasons of every social media platforms. There's the there's the there's the kid side where it's just straight you don't know what it is and you know they got like the weird names like brain rot, all that like corny stuff. And then you move up a little bit, you got like the prepubescent teenagers, right? They got the same stuff over there, but they do it like unironically. And then you have the teens that are damn near to the 20s and 30s. The teens, that's where I'm at. We do stuff ironically, and it's funnier when you like copy off them or off the front, right? And it makes sense, but there's so much misinformation in the teens area where some words mean a different meaning, and then some people don't know the full meaning of the original word, so it gets watered down to a different meaning. That's for another day. And then after you hit like the, the mid to early teens, you have the early 20s and mid 20s. They're more on the financial part, how to make money since the economy is so fucked up right now and shit like that. And then when you get to your 30s and your 40s and like the 50s, around my people's had me like they didn't have me super young. They had me in like their late 20s, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, my dad's pushing 50, my mom's pushing 40 something. Yeah, I know, right? Dysfunctional family. Ooh. How did I get that? I must have shaved on accident. Don't pop it. Anyway. Oh, I thought I messed it up. This shit hurt though. Oh, I might got an ingrown. I haven't been shaving lately. So like, you know, you see a little peach fuzz here and there, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get that little mature look type shit. I'm trying to have it be. Alright, but back to what I'm talking about, right? So when you get to like the round of like I'm gonna say late 20s to early 50s, that's like the midpoint. You start to get in the AI voices and talking about your signs and cheating and 30v1s and shit like that. That's their brain rot, all right? Every age section of a social media platform has their own brain rot. And it might be different for you and me, right? Because your phone listens to everything you say. If you don't believe it, you don't believe it. You remember when you'd be like, oh, I like this Batman thing, and then the Batman stuff starts showing up. Or I'm thinking about getting into music, and then music, more stuff starts showing up. It started with me when I was like, okay, I'm about to get back into sports. I've been contesting coaches, going to little show outs and shit, throwing little balls, running around. And you start seeing on your phone, their phone's listening, okay? That's why it takes your data and your cookies and stuff like that. But that's not even a theory. That's what's happening. They take information, right? Each area, I gotta stop messing with this bad, but it's like so irritating. Each area, every subdivision of age, and each social media platform has their own brain rot, right? For the adults, it's like it has to do with financing your kids, cheating, what sign you are, and why you should date yeah, whatever. If it's related to your life, it's going to show up in AI or some shit. Us, we use AI unironically sometimes for like emotes and stuff like that, gifs, stuff like that, using lingo that people like me made and using it in an incorrect way and then water it down and then telling you you're wrong about it, stuff like that, right? And then the brain rot for the kids on that age, I don't really know because I haven't seen none of my nephews or my little cousins in a hot little minute, but it's probably still the stuff on television plus AI making it like not make sense, like just doing random stuff. And then you have like a subplot of memes and references that's from movies and stuff, and they're added onto AI. That's the mid ground. I know, right? It makes not. I'm not explaining it too well, but anyway. And after that, after those subplots, you have shit. You got even more. You got the self hate, and then you got why should people some people shouldn't do this if they're not part of this culture or this ethnicity or this look. And then above that is just like a straight discrepancy. There's layers for each sort of each platform. There's a surface layer, and then the spot I'm in, I'm probably in like the niche area. Not that like unironically niche. Be like, oh, I'm kind of niche. I'm niche. I'm like dead serious niche because nobody knows me, and that's fine. And then there's a subplot of that. You have the philosophers and talking about love and how you should evolve yourself and evolution. I do a little bit of that here and there, but there's like a whole genre of philosophers or psychology majors that do it way better than me. And you know what I do? I block all of them. The reason I do that because I don't want to take any other ideas or get inspo. So I self internalize and I try to read from it. I want to create my own. Because sometimes when you so-called create your own, you're basically just taking somebody else's vision, watering it down to your ideas and be like, oh, this is mine now. It's not yours. You just took it from somebody else, right? If it's the same with art, music, drawing, all that. You did something because an outside source told you to do it, or you wanted to do it from an outside source. Like me, I had long hair before, but the reason I wanted long hair because I feel like that was the only thing I could control, and locks were in style. Well, they're always in style, but yeah. Right? Just like every genre, it's like waves, jerry curls. We can get to all of that. We can get to all of that every day. But what I'm basically saying is all the big choices have already been picking for us. The road you going, what school you going to, what you look like, what you can add to yourself, what tattoos you like, what girls you like. It can change, right? It can change throughout the years, but your big decisions have already been chosen for you. So if you try to change it, you can. But if you do, people will try to joke on you for it. You get earrings, tattoos, cut your hair, body modification, all that. People will troll you or make fun of you in some way or fashion because you're trying to be different. And what I always say, if we're all different, then we're all the same. That everybody can be unique to their own stature. You know what I'm saying? I can babble all along about that. This side is always longer. I hate that, bro. I need to start sleeping on this side, bro. But I learned my lesson a long time. Don't pull your hair too much because then it's going to pop off. But once I get this retwist, bro, it's up. This is my extra long. This my longest lock right here. My rat tail, as you can see. And then my longest lock is like, my longest side lock is this one. And then my longest top lock is in the back. Anything, my fault. Yeah, but yeah. And some things don't feel as good or as like I keep messing with it, I'm sorry. But like some things don't feel as good or they like feel kind of secondhand embarrassment or cringy because the marketing. The marketing of it or the sound of it. Like you ever like I don't know if you are still hanging with your parents or whatever. You ever like go on your parents' stuff and you look at their phone or like you look at their TikToks they're watching, you're like, how can they watch this bullshit? That's the same thing they think about your feed and all, right? Boy, you ever see like a marketing that's like real like horribly put together and like the audio is bad and like there's barely any views and you don't want to like it, like it seems cringy. That's the reason why stuff don't blow up as it used to, because the marketing stuff, they're not putting forth effort in audio, camera work, all that. Everything is not authentic anymore. So the less authentic stuff is, the more cringy and goosebumps and secondhand embarrassment you feel when you watch something. Like like if you create something, you watch it back, you be like, oh, it's kind of cringy, because you're yourself overthinking. You're influenced by other people's opinions. Best believe, right? You know, people are gonna be like, oh, what they say, what's the most generic cliche thing they can say about you doing anything that's different? Don't worry about the haters, which is right. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about other people's opinions, which is right to some extent. But at the other point, you still need their opinions to be liked, right? You still need their views. Like if you're doing something you love, yeah, that's different. But if you're trying to make money off it, you're trying to make financing off it, you gotta be a little bit more, not tense, but like appeasing to the people, right? Because let me tell you one thing: if you make good music, or you do good in football or something, the people don't know what they want. You gotta tell them what they want sometimes. Now, if they're flat telling you this is what you should do, take it in consideration, but just don't flat out do it, because then they're gonna be like, oh, he's an industry plan or something like this. How old is he? Who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember, everybody was unknown once upon a time, except Michael Jackson. That he was known since he came out the womb. I'm sorry for the glaze. That's MJ though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. Every famous person, either their family was rich, or had notoriety, or infamous for something bad, or you know what I'm saying, or they made their financing, right? I want to make a dynasty. You know, I want to make a family dynasty. Now, if I was young and dumb and I found out I got a kid by somebody that I didn't really love, two things you can do: beat them up. Don't play. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. You can do the responsible thing, put up for adoption, or take care of the kid, which, you know. But if you know you're not gonna be a good mother, a good father, you don't have a kid. Now, if it's one-sided, it's not my place. I say, give Shorty the money and let her take care of that kid. 10-20. I'd rather that than you have a horrible father and end up like me. I'm trying. I mean, having a suboptimal father only thinks that financing is good, and then end up like me, fucked up in the head on some shit. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just blame one person. You know what I'm saying? Can't blame one person. I can go with 10. You can't blame everybody. You can't blame one person, right? You gotta figure out what you're gonna do with your life. You know, it's better off to give up that kid than beat that kid and have him be fucked up like me, wondering why he still exists, or wondering why he ain't dead yet. You know what I'm saying? Wondering why he can't talk to people. You know, he can't. And I used to blame everybody else for my issues, or why I used to think the way I think, or why I used to not be able to see the way other people see, and why I question everything, right? And I like, bro, this questioning shit is so corny. I thought every time I thought something was wrong, and I was like, I'm about to say something, like, nah, I don't want to be seen as some conspiracy, corny ass, too self-aware, want to be smart ass dude, you know? Because right now we're in the facility, we're in the era where people are only self-aware. That looks so bad. People are only self-aware to a certain extent. Like when it comes to the internet, say you put a comment and you like your own comment, you'd be like, blood likes his own comment. Nobody said that. You know what I'm saying? They're only self-aware to certain points. Like, we're getting smart enough to see when somebody's not fully authentic, or they're trying to fake something, or they're trying to be mysterious, or they're trying to do this, or they're trying to be perceived as something when you're trying too hard. That's the only area where everybody collectively has been updated to self-awareness, right? Or they say they're self-aware. You know, there's three different people. I feel like. But this might be an oversimplification of it. But it's three people. People who are actually self-aware, people who think they're self-aware, and people who just don't care or don't acknowledge it. These two can be the same person. You can be self-aware and think you're self-aware, right? Of anything. Spatial awareness, it don't matter. Or you can be a mixture of the first and the second dude. Not knowing you're self-aware and don't give a fuck about it. So you don't really harp on it. You go out your life, you do little things to make sure you don't cause any issues with other people. You cut the small talk and you keep it pushing. I do that. Sometimes. But the connection with other people, that's a hard thing for me. I don't know, bro. I don't know, but I just can't, bro. I just can't. I'm trying too hard, but it just comes off awkward, or you be like, this nigga trying too hard. So like, I just be quiet, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just be quiet. It's the best thing I can do for the moment in time, bro. That's the best thing I can do. Just be quiet, bro. Don't say too much. Don't say too little. Cause there's so many people that think they're so insightful and so smart. But if you're so insightful and so smart, and you're so intelligent, and the world is just you just can't believe people are so blinded to all the mistakes in the world and yada yada yada. Why have you not changed anything yet? Why have you not gone out your way to fix anything? Because you don't want to, and you just want to be this so cool main character, super complex type of dude, right? That was me. I was like, damn. I had a little bit of self-ego. You know what I'm saying? Have I experienced ego death yet? Fuck no, I haven't. I thought I had. But then I'm getting to the point where if I had ego death, I wouldn't be wearing earrings. I wouldn't be trying to get my hair all nice. But that's upkeep. But I wouldn't be trying to figure out new words and try to evolve myself so I can be perceived as smart and also help myself, you know? So I'm like, if you want to better yourself for the wrong reasons, there's no such thing as you being better than anybody, because you want to prove to others, not yourself, that you're better than somebody, right? It's different from keeping upkeep and stuff like that. I feel like I will never experience ego death. Maybe when my brain is fully developed at 25 and I'm not just bumbling around trying to figure out why the word is so complex, maybe I will get there, right? Maybe or not. But there's probably somebody who's in my exact shoes, but way older than me, and probably getting clowned for finally figuring it out. Because I feel like there's a point in time where everybody's in this spot, either where they're self-aware of everything that's going on, and you kind of want to feel like you want to change it, or you just be like, oh, well, it is what it is, and keep it pushing. There's probably somebody experiencing that's double my age, and they're getting clowned for it. They'd be like, oh, he's not authentic, he's faking it, right? You know? And there's probably somebody out there who just doesn't really care about any of what I'm talking about or why people try so hard. And that dude is cool as shit, I swear to God. If you can find you a quiet, chill dude who doesn't really see barriers or see hierarchies or see stature or any of that, and just chills, those are the best people. The super cringy, authentic, or the super quiet, nonchalant, those people, those are the most coolest people you can meet. But it has come to the point where we have we have pseudo copies, fake copies of those people who try to be quirky and weird and different by doing memes and stuff like that to seem like they're authentic. And we have fake nonchalant people who try to be that person to be perceived as cool. We have those people. I tried my hardest to get out of the box, but now that I'm doing this, I'm in a box. I might be outside the box mentally, but if you see me now, you'll just see me as a black teenager who used to do sports, want to be content creator, want to be rapper. That want to be part is so disrespectful for people who try to create. But everybody has their different opinions, right? So when you bump heads, you tend to use insults to get your point across. And the more you yell, the more those two parts disperse. And that's why we have so many different issues in the world, because we can't connect on one thing. I could say I love tomatoes, and then some be like, oh, so you don't fuck with bell peppers, bitch? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's inherent for humans to argue or something. I don't know, because I argue too, right? I argue too, but I'm gonna try to figure out how to set this up. You know, I'm gonna set up. I want to get a haircut first before I get my locks retwisted again. That's what I want to do. I want to get my haircut, because I haven't got a haircut in years. Yeah, we're gonna get a haircut and then try to get my hair done. It's the small things that matter. Don't forget that. It's the small things. I'm losing my voice, gang. It's the small things. Well, I thought I heard my government name for a minute. But it's truly the small things, you know? Bro, I keep messing with this bump, bro. Should I pop it? That's like my fault. But anyway, we're gonna cut this at 37 minutes. Get what you can get off this video, cause you know you only take in. Never mind, scratch that. We're now doing 37. We're gonna probably push it to 40. Fuck it. Get what you can get out this video, because you only intake about 25% of the stuff that you read or listen to. You know, that's why you gotta keep on rereading, and if you ain't get it the first time, right? What makes you think you ain't gonna get it the second time? See. But people say if you do the same thing over and over, that's insanity. But when it comes to studying, you know, coming to intake knowledge, right, stuff like that, it's different. Because if you didn't get it the first time, right, and you read a little bit slower, you can get it the second time. But then some people be like, bro, just read it once and then you'll get it. Not everybody's brains work like that. That's why when people try to share their opinions, they're sharing their opinions like everybody's mind is like theirs. And that's why I don't do that. I try to play devil's advocate, but not in a negative light. More of, if I split my brain into two, I have to come to a conclusion that not everybody's brain is the same as mine. Right? Sometimes I can't study. I can't do a lot of things without stimulation. People say I have autism. That's bullshit. Okay, I don't have autism. Okay? People say autism is very underdiagnosed, but I don't got that. I don't got that. Everybody wants to be different, and everybody wants to self-diagnose. I'm regular, okay? I'm regular. I might be different, but everybody's different. Bro, they try to diagnose me with high functional autism. Talking about you're very low in the spectrum. That's a lie. That's a lie. I am normal. And there's nothing wrong with having autism. But you're not gonna tell me I have something, and you're not a psychiatrist. You're a therapist. Like, what do you know? That's kind of dumb, because I won't be a therapist. Anyway, yeah, take what you can get from this video, man. If it was the freestyle, that was pretty ass. Not gonna lie, we're gonna work on it. And my explanation of why everything's so messed up and why everything feels so weird. The authenticity of everything has been grinded down to the smallest amount. That's why it's hard to find anything that you like. Our dopamine receptors are already fried. So it's hard to figure out what you want and what somebody else wants without being rude. But anyway, it was great talking to you, fam. I don't know when you're gonna see this, but hope everything's doing well. Love you, twin.